Now it's time for the Coach McFerrin TV show. Presented by Chick-fil-A. Eat more chicken. The show is also supported by AutoZone. From parts to helpful advice, AutoZone has everything you need to get in the zone. AutoZone. Subway. Make it what you want. The Tennessee Lottery. And your Memphis Toyota dealers. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Melissa McFerrin Show. I'm Jeff Bridle, alongside the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, Melissa McFerrin. And, Coach, sitting nearly 2 weeks into the new year, which means you're in the middle of the semester break, but conference play has started.
Absolutely. We've got 3 games under our belt in conference play. It's as interesting as it's ever been. Tight games, close games. We've come out on the short end of some really close games, but that's what this conference is. So kind of expected this. Well, didn't expect it. Just the density of our schedule right now has made it really difficult for a young team with 7 new players.
With 7 new players, a couple of early bumps early in the season, but then you hit December and you got things really rolling.
We did, and I think that simply was a result of having those 7 new players, trying to figure out how we play together, what our rotations were, who we could rely upon. We hit a great stretch in December, going undefeated, hoping to carry that into the new year. I think we're still going to have another, now that we're in better competition, I think we're going to have another stretch of improvement where we get really good. You
talk about the density of the schedule. You're already underway in league play. You guys just got back from a road trip at Tulane. You had Cincinnati earlier, a road trip at Houston. They bunched you up early.
They did, and I'll tell you what, I squawked about it too to the conference. You know, we had a Sunday game, and then we had a Wednesday game, and then a Saturday game. That's pretty dense. Of course, we've got UConn coming up on Tuesday, so squawk as I may, squawk as I might. They didn't change a thing. So, but anyway, that is sometimes what happens. We're going to have another stretch of that when we get into the early part of February. So we've got to be ready to play that kind of schedule.
Coach, you take a look at it as well with conference play already underway, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later as we take a look at a few of the highlights from the last several games. We'll also have our Chick-fil-A Outstanding Player of the Week, the Toyota Inside Access, and the AutoZone Road Ahead. It all comes your way as we continue here on the Melissa McFerrin Show.
You're watching the Coach McFerrin TV show.
Well, Coach, as we mentioned, an exciting December for this team where you went undefeated and then rolled into conference play. We're going to take a look back at a few of the games leading up to conference play, starting off with Mississippi Valley, a 91-54 win.
Right before we head to Christmas, you know, this is one of those games where coaches hate, but our post players really came through. We played without Jamira, but we had 6 people in double figures. And here you see Jazz going to the rim. She was one of the players that also was in double figures. Really got our transition game going. You see, again, Elena there, who has been absolutely fantastic coming off the bench and putting points on the board for us. Here again, you see Jazz. This was just one of those games where I thought we really spread the wealth, shared the basketball really well. Saw a lot of zone in this game, and of course, when we see zone, we expect Madison Griggs to show up.
And you talk about Madison Griggs, 8 3-pointers en route to 26 points.
This was, I think, her 4th game with 4 3-pointers or more. And she's a freshman. I tell the story often that I saw her hit 40 out of 50 once in high school. And so this is not a mistake that she's doing this. Again, you see Dulce here. Again, our post players are just being absolutely fantastic against the zone. We're getting the ball inside, which is where we need it. They're shooting a tremendous percentage from the floor.
Most important thing is you came out quick, because I heard a coach once say you don't want the team to be on Christmas break before it's Christmas break.
No, and we talk a lot about it, but they are kids, and opening presents is still important to them. But Maddie Griggs shows up in the second half. I think she hit 6 threes in the second half, on her way to 8 total. And it became a runaway 31-13 fourth quarter, and just, she can do that. If you give her space, she can do that. Now, she's not going to do it every night. She's still a freshman, and she's still human, and there's still a defense out there. But a lot of times, if you give her any bit of an opening, she's going to make you pay.
5 players in double digits. You moved along then to Alabama A&M, and you come away with a 79-71 win over A&M.
In this game, our roster was just a little bit awkward. We're just getting Lynetta back. Jamira's back, but she's not healthy. We're just getting Julianne back into the country, which is an interesting little story. But it took us a little while to get on track here. And I think, who was that? Was that Julianne? Who was that in the middle of the floor there? But anyway, took us a little while to get on track. But you see our post players again showing up and playing here.
It's 2 games we talk about once you go on break. That game before you go on break, that game you go after break.
Absolutely. You know, we come back. We worked really hard before this game because, of course, we're getting ready for conference play. Again, you see our post players show up. Elena Davis is really playing well for us. And, of course, Madison Griggs does a little bit of her stuff, too.
21 points for Madison Griggs. She had 5 3-pointers in that game. One of the games you talked about where she's had 4 or more. Got a little high scoring there. They made a little run late.
They did make a run late, and I'll tell you what, one of the things that's plaguing us right now is our free throw shooting, and this was one of the games where that happened. You continue to see our post players play well here. We're trying to get a few more people on track. We need Julianne, we need Lynetta, Jazz there going to the rim. But our free throw shooting right now, our shooting from the field has been really good. Our free throw shooting is starting to creep in as a problem right now. So we're working on it. Can't always make it happen on game day.
We've seen Elena a couple times in these highlights. She was a player you relied on a lot last year. This year, the pressure taken off Elena, and she continues to come along as we move along to our 3rd game to look at today, and that is Houston and Memphis. But Elena continuing to come along, doesn't have to shoulder quite the load she did a year ago.
No, and that's good. We have nearly 5 players in double figures. That's exactly what any coach would want to have. And the post combination of Kiki Hunter, who I haven't mentioned, who is nearly a double-double machine also. Elena Dulce, who is a force on the boards here and continues to be. That's a great rotation for our team, and it's really what we've relied on late while we're trying to get some of our other players going in their roles.
Talk about the post play for this team this year because you do have a few more weapons.
Well, I'll tell you, having 3 post players that you can rely on and 3 post players that can rebound for you, that puts a lot of pressure on the other team's defense. We are now seeing what we expected to see a year ago, or what we saw a lot a year ago, and that's we're starting to see more zone. And so we're going to have to open things up a little bit while still making sure our post players get the shots. But that means Julianne's got to light up. That means Jamira's got to light up. Obviously, Madison can at times, but we need to get going a little bit more from the perimeter while also continuing to get the ball in the right places inside.
Those are just a few of our games, again, as we are now into conference play. When we return, we're going to talk to assistant coach Michelle Savage. We'll also take a look at the Chick-fil-A Outstanding Player of the Week. All comes your way next as you're watching the Melissa McFerrin Show.
You're watching the Coach McFerrin TV show.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our special segment with our guests. And today's guest, assistant coach Michelle Savage, in her 2nd year here at the University of Memphis. And Coach, obviously you're liking it pretty well. You're back for a 2nd year, and we talked to Coach McFerrin about the weapons you have at post. I know that's got to make you particularly happy.
Oh, definitely. I work with the post every day, so it's always a pleasure when you have talented posts that are going to be with you for a little while.
What is the biggest difference now from year 1 of you being here now into year 2, besides just having a little bit more depth at the post?
I think our skill level has definitely increased, bringing in Dulcie and Kiki and our freshman, Lynetta Williams. So I think having those 3 and their skilled abilities coming to the post has definitely helped us.
You were a big addition to the staff because you spent several years, I believe 9, down at Tulane, so you're very familiar with not only Memphis but Tulane, but how the league was, because you were with Tulane probably back before the American formed, and now that the American is formed, you're really familiar with the American.
Oh, definitely. When I was at Tulane, I was there for 9 years, and we were in Conference USA. and a lot of the same teams from there have moved on to the American, so I'm pretty familiar with the league and the team.
How do you like the cities now, a year and a half, 2 years now into your tenure year? New Orleans and Memphis, of course, have a lot of similarities.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're very close, and you know, my family is here, so that helps the transition a lot.
All right, Coach, let's talk about what you do here. You work with the Post a lot, but what other responsibilities do you have in your position?
I do a little bit of scouting, some recruiting, things like that. Obviously, I enjoy working with the Post a lot.
And you guys got out and you were part of that great recruiting class last year that brought those recruits in. What do you say when you go out and you sell a Memphis product?
Oh, we talk about where we're going, how much they can help us achieve our goals in the future, what we want to do in this league and nationally.
And of course, you got Lanice and Lynetta, you got Dulcie in here with all the Post players, and now you can really go to work.
Oh, for sure. We're very excited about where we're going.
All right, speaking of Post players, let's transition. We're going to let you talk a little bit about this outstanding player, our Chick-fil-A Outstanding Player of the Week, Dulcie Voncom Giadu. Boy, she has made an immediate impact this season.
I mean, when we were recruiting Dulcie, I think that was what we had in store for her, is to make an immediate impact, and she has definitely lived up to what we expected from her.
Well, when you have high expectations, sometimes it takes a little time to develop, but she is averaging nearly a double-double this season.
And I think she takes pride in both those stats, in the offensive end and the defensive end, putting the ball in the basket and rebounding.
How has her transition been to Memphis?
Oh, I think it's been pretty good. She seems to be enjoying herself. She loves her teammates, and she's doing well in school academically, so I think her adjustment has been great.
A couple of the last few games, 14-12 against Mississippi Valley, 12-10 against Houston. As we talked about, Dulcie has been our nearly double-double machine. It's always great when you can count on a player like that.
Definitely.
All right, that's going to wrap it up in this segment. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Toyota Inside Access. We're going to take a look at life on the road as we return on the Melissa McFerrin Show.
You're watching the Coach McFerrin TV show.
Welcome back, and Coach, we just had a great conversation with one of your assistants, Michelle Savage. We featured Dulcie, and I know Dulcie was a player that you talked a lot about coming into the season. You were really excited to get her on campus.
We've been trying to get her here for 3 years. So yeah, when she finally showed up, we were really excited about that. You know, Dulcie is the second player we've had from Cameroon. We all remember Ramses Lunlak, or at least I know you do. One of the things that they bring to us is tremendous work habits, and that, I think, is what Dulcie has brought to our team, and that's why she's so impactful in this league. Currently, she's shooting 71% from the field. She's averaging over 4 offensive rebounds. You don't get those things without being a real worker, and I think that's what I'm excited about. She still is really young in her game. She has so much room to grow. And she's going to be a centerpiece for us, and who wouldn't want to have a 6'3", 6'4" kid as one of their centerpieces? And she is a great teammate.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our feature today, and we take a look at what it's like on the road.
Traveling during conference season is amazing. You know, we step on a private plane, we get here, we stay in a great hotel, we have great meals, and our kids just get to relax and just be consumed with basketball or watch basketball on TV. And I think it's one of the greatest bonding times that we have. And so we just really look forward to it. We've got 7 new players, and we've also got even some returners who haven't been in some of the gyms because we don't play everybody twice. So we just like to get in the gym and see what it feels like, feel comfortable, get a little bit of confidence in the gym.
Well, it feels good. We got a get our touch on the goals and try to make shots. We just got to work harder than what we normally do within the non-conference game that we play. When we play into conference, every game counts, so we got to play harder than we normally play.
I think right now, I think our kids are just really enjoying the game. Obviously, we've won some games in this early pre-conference season, and so our kids feel really good right now. So that kind of chemistry flows into everything that we do right now. And so anytime they can get in the gym and have fun, I think it's invaluable. Sometimes game day is a really long day. We sit around waiting for something to happen. So my favorite part of game day is when the ball goes in the air and we're getting ready to play.
Coach, you get into the grind of the season, but road trips, especially early in the year and early in the conference, always an exciting time.
It is, and we're coming out of the Christmas holiday. We're not quite in a routine yet, but when we get on the road, it becomes all about basketball, and I think that's what our kids really like, and we talk about it being a bonding experience. You know, they go out to dinner together. We spend a lot of time together in the hotels, but what it really allows us to do, particularly before classes start, is focus on basketball, because this is the most important part of our season. We've had a great pre-conference season, but now the grind begins. And sometimes the grind is just part of the road trip, but it's a glorious ride too.
Back at home this week at the El Marone Fieldhouse. We'll talk about that on the road ahead when we come back on the Melissa McFerrin Show.
You're watching the Coach McFerrin TV show.
Welcome back to the Melissa McFerrin Show as we get ready to wrap things up with the AutoZone road ahead. And Coach, as you get into conference play now, 3 games in, we take a look at a big challenge, but also it provides a huge opportunity and a great learning experience.
Well, this will be the last time we see UConn at home too. As we change conferences next year, then they'll go away. Some people are sad about that. Some people are excited, but it's just a matter of how you look at it. But it gives us a chance to prep our kids again for a really high-level opponent, which is important. We need to have that prep time. We can't control how the game goes, but we want to put up a fight. Who knows? Somebody might knock them off before they leave our conference. We'll see.
Well, and when you play a team like this, when they're in your league, you sign up to play Division I basketball to play the very best.
That's exactly right, and it will be a test. They maybe they're maybe a quarter of a notch below where they've been, but they're still a really elite basketball team.
Then you go ahead from that, and you got SMU on the 21st after just a little bit of a chance to catch your breath.
Want to catch our breath. These first 10 days have been brutal. These have been all teams that have been picked in the top tier of the conference. We need to get more into the meat of the middle of the conference. We've got to come away with some wins because we have postseason goals, and that's what we're focused on. And
it won't be long to the second semester will start, and once you get there, you kind of really get back into the routine that I know coaches really like.
Absolutely, and that schedule is important to all of us. We need structure. Everybody needs structure, whether it's class, basketball, life.
All right, a couple home games coming up. We want to see you out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is head coach Melissa McFerrin again Tuesday night, 7 o'clock against UConn, then on the 21st at home against SMU. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jeff Brightwell. That's the head coach, Melissa McFerrin.
Thanks for watching the Coach McFerrin TV show, presented by Chick-fil-A. Eat more chicken. The show is also supported by AutoZone. For parts to helpful advice, AutoZone has everything you need to get in the zone. AutoZone, Subway, make it what you want. The Tennessee Lottery, and your Memphis Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield IMG College under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield IMG College. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Tigers Sports Network.